Hope for the Shadows has been a big impact on my life. It started when I came here 7 years ago. It was the reason I came. It's the reason I'm still here today.
I am that person that Hope for the Shadow would be helping years ago. Before that, I was very lost, and this is the kind of group that I would have needed to show me love and kindness.
Coming to New Hope was the best thing that ever happened to me.
This church is small, but the love is huge.
When we were on Union Street at the church there were a lot of homeless people that seemed to pop by. And Pastor made it welcome by he had a sign made in the front window that said, coffee's on. And we met a lot of friends that way.
I fucked a drug test. I smoked marijuana. I lost my job, and I went to jail for 100 days. And I come out with nothing. I got stuck outside. Behind restaurants, and look in the dumpster, and hopefully there's a piece of pizza or something in there. It's hard for a street person.
Hope for the Shadows brought me in, fed us, and gave us hope that we could get back on our feet in a time that we desperately needed help.
We became the go-to church in Delaware, and people were calling from all around Delaware looking for help, and that was a good thing for us. And we got a name, and we got a few members from that reason, and then from there we had a collaboration with other churches. The ones I remember the most, of course, are St. Mary's and Penn and St. John Newman, who was a tremendous help for us. Many times I would go in and ask, can you go with me on this one? And he'd say, you know what, you're a poor church, we'll just do it for you. And that was wonderful. That worked out really well. So.
When I found out about New Hope, it was through a couple of different people. One of them you all know really well, and that's Sherry. Sherry Hedges was on the bus talking to us in one of our worst times of our life. She was there for us, and today now she's on that group with us. If there's anyone that's made a bigger impact in this church, I don't know who it could be.
We're not supposed to talk about, church and God and all that on the bus at work, but if they open the door, I'm going in. So that's, most of them that I've invited here were in a really bad way, and they needed us.
People turn their head on, and they think they're trash. But really, they're people. They're a human being. God's child.
I was introduced to Keith by coming to church here. Now, I was homeless and Keith was too, but Keith would still share what he had. I remember him taking us to the store to buy us something to drink, something to eat. when he had very little himself, he would still help others out. That's usually how it works. Sometimes the people with the least give the most. It's hard. It was something that he needed that money later on, but he saw us struggling and he was willing to give. That was one of the sweetest moments of my life, is to have those moments of those people that were struggling but saw us struggling worse and helped out. And that's what we need to do. We need to help others even if we're struggling.
But yet, you're still a human being, man.
Was homeless and talked to him about New Hope, and he started coming, and he was faithful. That man came here all the time.
Is a unique person. When we met him, he was a mountain man. He had hair down his back and he had a beard down to probably the middle of his chest. He was homeless and he was unemployed. He was able to get him into a pop-up camper, and from there we took him to a hard shell camper that had heat, and then AARP got him a job.
Being here, he felt family, and we just loved Tony. And him getting his diploma was amazing after 40 years, I think. So that was a day I'll never forget.
Just because I didn't know anybody, but everybody was real welcome. I remember in the first week or so that I was here, a couple weeks, we were going over the fair. Sue Skeens brought us all a bunch of us three shirts, me, David Strait, and Glenn, and just it felt welcome.
A little over a year ago, I had done 4 years in prison and come up here. And really didn't know anybody, had nobody, had nothing. So, but I did have a job and a place to live. Well, I'd take the bus everywhere. So Sherry was the driver. We got to talking, and she was telling me about this church that was so great and how everybody is. So all right, I'll try it out. So I came in, and instantly when I came in, the feeling was something like I've never had before. Like I say, doing 4 years in prison is rough. And to be able to come into some place that shows love, and it was automatic. The pastor, says he loves you and hugs you every time, no matter what, and does not stop anyone from coming in. That's another thing too that drew me here. They don't judge, don't care. Come and see this and learn about God.
June 4th, I was sitting behind the bank, drinking a cup of coffee and smoking a cigarette, and Reverend Sapp, probably the best man in the world, besides Jesus, I would say, come up and ask me if I would want him to come to church. Now, I was skeptical. I didn't go that day. But the next week, I went. And I've been coming ever since. The first day I come to this church, I haven't had a shower for like a week. I was all dirty and nasty. But I was welcomed. I've been blessed. I come in here because I want to learn the Word of God.
So, in all my years, I'm 54, I always knew that there was more, there was something else. there was than what I was being told. When I came in here, and the pastor and how he preaches is amazing, and in a way that I can understand it. And I've grown so much in the little over a year that I've been coming here, that more than I have in all the years I spent anywhere else. So, I've said it many times, I'll say it on the street and everything else, that it surrounds you. You basically have no choice but to get closer to God, because it makes you feel that way. It's amazing, and the people are so loving and accepting, and that makes you feel good. That makes you want to learn more and come, and show up.
Prior to coming to New Hope, I was not I didn't walk with God. I wasn't a Christian. I'll be honest, the very first time I walked in that door, I actually started to turn around and walk right back out the door. But Hirsch Glenn, who actually is a member of Hope for the Shadows, grabbed me by the arm very gently and politely and walked me back in the door. Invited me to sit with he and his wife. The people here at New Hope were very welcoming, and it's made me feel like a family, which I don't have in my own family.
I know that my church is the most non-judgmental church. People are still people. We still sin, and judging is part of that, but I have no problem inviting someone to my church.
I came to New Hope pretty much through a friend named Glenn. We were both about ready to be homeless. He stayed in a camper that we had in the back of the church. And I just came in and visited him, and I started just coming to church. And at that time in my life, I was angry at the world, ready to give up on the littlest things. And over the last 3 or 4 years, I've learned to relax a lot, more calm, not ready to just give up. I have peace in my life.
Problems. I have a lot of physical problems. My back is deteriorating, and so Hope for the Shadows came to me and didn't even blink, offering help to where I could get my surgery. But I got what I needed, and I survived, and I was able to get my surgery and live and get back to work. You won't find that anywhere else.
And for most of my life, I've been the person to take care of myself. I've been self-sufficient and standing on my own 2 feet, very, very strong. And until here recently, I found myself financially struggling. I ended up with an eviction notice on my apartment. He had mentioned to me to ask our Hope for the Shadows. And I said to him, no, I can't do that. I can't ask our church. I can't ask our church and our church family for help. And they helped me. They helped me so that I wouldn't be evicted from my home. Our Hope for the Shadows program here at New Hope, our church family, kept me in my home. I've never experienced that level of kindness in my life.
It became a passion for me after I was able to get my life together, to be able to help other people in this church and in our community. It's something I've now been on the board for a couple years now, working with some of the greatest people in this church. Herschel has led us to be a fantastic group and has brought together a group of diverse people that see things in different ways, that can go around and grab the people out of our community that need help, can answer those calls, whether it's for food, whether it's for shelter. Sometimes it's just to help them and give them someplace to go, give them ideas, share our resources with them. It's something that I believe our church should always be focused on. Number one, find hope here. And to reach people is our number one mission. I love this church, and I will always be a part of it. And I will always, always strive to reach out into our community and to help those that are struggling. That starts usually with money. That starts with food. That starts with rent, electric bills. Those are the things that people need in their life. Once those are taken care of, they can work on their soul. They can work on the things that will keep them in line.
Going forward, you know, I have a nice home. I have a vehicle, a nice vehicle. I have a future, and I really do. When I come out of the joint, when I come out of prison, it was bad. You know, I didn't have much of a future. But now, you know, I'm growing. You know, the whole time I was in prison, that I wanted to somehow do better, to be one, to help someone and lead them. And this opportunity with the church and is going out, tell them how amazing it is, and when they actually come and understand and see, that makes me feel good. But that is exactly what I want to do.
And just seeing that people do care, and it inspired me to want to go out and help other people too, as much as I can.
I'm going to school for my CDL. I'll be finished in 2.5 weeks. And I am getting job offers, and I'm going to be able to pay it forward in so many ways.
But now I live. Once was dead, but now I live. Now my life to you I give. Now my life to you I give. Now my life to you I give. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Let my
Love this church and everybody in it, and I'm glad I found a home here.
I know Jesus loves me. And I got saved. If I would die today, I think I would go to heaven. My message would be, if you're a lost, broken soul, go see Reverend Zapp, because he will fix you.
Who will fix them, really? It's not me. Who can fix them?
God.